wrote this book. It's basically about my journey living in a Christian environment in church. It's very triumphalist. Everything is great and you get redeemed. But I lived a lot of dissonance in my life, and I couldn't find comfort. And the place I found comfort wasn't in triumphalist Christian writers, but where I found comfort were in these Jewish writers, Abraham Heschel and Michael Weisegrod, and it's kind of ugly, where they've been, the Holocaust, and they directed me to scriptures, which actually are disturbing, but they're actually comforting when you read them. You realize you have to live in tension in your life.
Have you ever wondered why Christians avoid voicing certain biblical texts? For example, Isaiah says Yahweh creates woe and weal. And what about those strange dialogues of Abraham and Moses with Yahweh, where Yahweh changes his mind and even takes up a novel idea from a human? And that's carried into the New Testament, where Jesus is persuaded to change water into wine by his mother. And then there's that disturbing reference in Acts where Ananias and Sapphira were struck dead just for telling a lie. I studied at Fuller Seminary, and we used a principle inherited from the Reformation. It's called the analogy of faith. You go with the clear scripture, you go with the majority scripture. And alumni of Fuller, John Piper, Bruce Ware, and James White use this principle. It's good, it's right, it's wise. However, they leave out the minority scriptures. And my book is about these leftovers. What I'm proposing is not raising these obscure references I just mentioned to prominence. I'm only saying they need to be voiced on occasion and placed uncomfortably alongside the main thrust of Scripture. As Westerners, we need to ease up on our overly rationalistic control over the Bible and shift more to a Hebrew way. It's called Hebrew block logic. The Bible does it this way. There's point, counterpoint. Material comes in a zigzag, checkered manner. It's not necessarily straightforward. It's a little messy, but the truth is there. I also studied under Francis Schaeffer in Switzerland, and he drilled into us in philosophy and theology. You can't have contradiction. Everything falls apart. However, the Bible will not submit to this demand. There are competing truths in the Bible. For example, Psalm 37 contradicts Psalm 73. The one psalm says the righteous prosper, the other psalm says no, the unrighteous prosper. You have Ecclesiastes pitted against Psalms. Ecclesiastes says it's all futile, shot through with nothing. And Psalms says, no, it's pregnant with meaning, laden with purpose and glory of God. You have James' letter that contends with the letters of Paul. Jesus says he's the Prince of Peace, but he says those who take the kingdom have to take it through violence. We live in exciting times. It's called postmodernism. And it's not all bad, as many Christians warn. There's some good coming out of it. It's creating a climate where biblical scholars are chasing down these minority scriptures, re-examining them and voicing them. Also, the Holocaust has changed the landscape. Biblical thinkers are reassessing the relationship with humanity and the God of the Bible. Lastly, Christians are quick and easy and eager to show off that God is love, that He actually embodies the emotion of love. However, they are reluctant to attach those embarrassing emotions of sadness, jealousy, and anger to that love. At the risk of sounding medieval, in my book, I actually defend that God has these transitory emotions, anger, jealousy, and sadness. And I defend this philosophically, theologically, and biblically.